If you're serious about scaling your coaching or info offer, then you have to understand that leverage is what's going to get you there, not more work. This video is for two kinds of people. The first one is somebody who's taking a long-term approach to this and not somebody who's looking for a quick cash grab. And the second one is somebody who has at least one client result or client testimonial that they can leverage to scale. If this is not you, then either click off this video or check out some of my previous videos because this won't apply to you. And a lot of people making similar videos to this would just throw some elaborate client acquisition strategy at you. But what I'm actually going to tell you is that you should be focusing fully on fulfillment, because fulfillment is the core to any good business. And if you don't have good fulfillment, it'll eventually bite you in the ass in the future. So the first thing that you would need to do is to streamline your delivery systems. This would be something like pre-written templates, SOP kits, plug and play systems, and the correct support that you need to create replicable client results every single time. Here are some of many templates, SOP kits, or plug and play systems that we have in our current offer, and we're currently building out a ton more. And the reason that we're doing this is to externalize our brain and to give our clients all the tools that they need to actually scale. Not everything should be standardized, because if you just slap the same solution onto every single problem, you're probably going to have a hard time keeping your clients happy and getting them the results that they want. But for the majority of the processes that are standard across every single person that you help, you should definitely put that into a folder that they can access really quickly and easily so that they can get to the solution without wasting their time and your time with the limited one-to-ones that you guys have together. By creating a great delivery system, you build mass efficiency, which will help you get client results time and time again. For example, we helped one of our clients get to over $1 million in deal value just with organic short form content. And when we tell people that, it adds not only authority, but it also proves that what we say and do actually works. And before I move on, I want to make this very clear. Proof is going to be the single highest leverage thing that is going to actually help you scale, because you can be the best salesman, the best person at making content or whatever it is, but at the end of the day, if you don't fix your fulfillment and get replicable client results, then you're not going to have any proof. And this is what's going to be holding you back the most. And the other really important thing is whenever you get client results, make sure to build a feedback loop to improve your delivery systems every single time so that your efficiency gets better with time. Every single time you sign a new client and you help them with something, your delivery system should get better and better and easier for you to actually replicate the results, because you're going to learn new things, you're going to face unique situations with different clients, and you're going to be able to actually improve your service with the more clients that you sign. So this feedback loop ultimately ends up compounding and makes every single additional sale easier than the one before. So now that you fix your fulfillment and you have proof that what you're selling works, you can leverage that to increase your conversions, which is going to be the next step for scaling. Whenever you're trying to convert somebody, whether it's in the DMs or on a call, it doesn't really matter where. The single most important thing is that you have proof that what you did worked for somebody else, just like them, and that it will work for them. So once you have people in the DMs and you're trying to nurture them to get them on a sales call, and you tick all your boxes, you're sending voice notes, you're having actual human interactions, not acting like a robot, and you express genuine interest in their issues that they're facing and actually trying to get to know them and see if you can properly help them, not just throwing a $5,000 or $10,000 solution the second that they express some difficulty with the problem that they're facing. Your sole objective in the DMs is to qualify these prospects and discover their pain points so that you can see if you can actually help them. Then once you do, you can leverage these case studies in the form of just a message saying like, hey, I helped somebody just like you. He was facing this exact problem and I helped him do this. Would you be interested in speaking to me about how we can do that? That case study or story alone will probably help you push them to the next stage, which is a call. Or what you can do is leverage long form videos, which I'll discuss later. As you can see, there's an arrow pointing up here, is you can leverage long form videos to send it to them, communicate the value that you provide, and ultimately push them to make the same decision, which is to get them on a call. Now, this is where it gets interesting, because I'm somebody who believes heavily in if you're not measuring something, you can't improve it. And if you're not measuring it, then you're probably never going to improve it, because you don't even know what's happening truly. Like, you can try to rely off your memory, but that never really works in the long run, especially if you're dealing with large volume of calls or leads or any of that kind of stuff. So if you take a sales call and you lose it, you have to have the right tracking systems in place. And one of the most important things that you can do is record the call, figure out what positive feedback you got from somebody who didn't sign with you, because chances are if you already got them on the call, they were already liking what you had to say. For the most part, they just didn't make a decision because there was something preventing them from getting there. So take note of all the positive feedback you got. And what's also important is figure out what your close rate is. You have to quantify this, because if you just say like, oh yeah, like I closed a few people last week, that doesn't mean anything if you've taken 300 calls and you only closed 2 people, because that's a miserable close rate. So you have to find some benchmarks that you want to set for yourself, whether it's 30, 40, 50% close rate, 80% close rate. It depends on what you're doing and what phase you're in, because if you're increasing your prices, your close rate's probably going to go down. But you have to find the happy medium where you're going to be satisfied in making the most amount of money possible while helping the most people as well, in a way that's fair for everybody. This ultimately creates a feedback loop where you're going to have some sales calls where you close, you get the sale, great job. But what you have to do is not just celebrate the win and disregard it and not think about why you actually got that win. You have to actually think about why you got the sale in the first place. So again, you need to have the right tracking systems in place. I think recording your calls is probably one of the most important things that you need to do. I personally use Fathom. It's great because it also has an AI summary, so you can quickly recap over the calls, and sometimes it'll even just like bullet point list out some of the negative things and positive things that people say. So this makes it really quick and easy for you to just skip through the recording and find out exactly what worked and what didn't work. Go back, listen to it, and figure out what was the one thing that you told them, or what was the objection that they threw at you that you handled, which ultimately allowed you to close that deal. This will allow you to find the main reason why they decided to work with you. And again, another really smart thing to do is to implement this into your onboarding form so that you have like written data and you can put this in a database and find out what is the one commonality, what is the one thing that everybody is saying whenever they decide to work with you, because you'd be surprised at the things that people are saying, because you may overlook things and you might think like, oh, you have all these really cool features and this and that, but ultimately you might realize that a lot of people are saying that they decided to work with you because of one of these things that you completely overlooked. And by collecting this data, you can actually use that in your content as a way to get more people into your pipeline. This again creates an amazing feedback loop where you're going to be able to increasingly close more calls because you're going to figure out what is working in the first place and then using that every single time to push people through to the next step, which is actually working with you. So now that you've optimized your fulfillment and your conversions, this will help you get attention in the form of content extremely easily. So when it comes to organic content, you will know exactly what kind of YouTube videos to be making. You can also then plug in the case studies and make even more YouTube videos, which will just fuel even more growth into these long form videos. And when you're using your Reels for reach, you will know exactly what are the things that people are saying about you, or what are the things that you're overlooking that your clients, which are the most important people in your business, are really resonating with. And then you can create Reels about that to get more attention, to plug them into your YouTube videos. And remember, when you're making Reels, you always have to talk about what, not how, because people don't go onto Instagram to learn shit. They go on there to doom scroll. And if you just get people excited about what you're doing, the right people who are interested in finding out how will find their way to your YouTube videos if you have the right system set up in place. And before talking about your Instagram profile, these YouTube videos are amazing because they're really great at nurturing people, and you can plug them in to your conversion mechanism here, where you send people long form videos as a way to nurture them even further, instead of just creating these really shitty, ugly PDF lead magnets that don't actually convert anybody. Your objective once you get people onto your Instagram profile is to earn the follow, because once you get people to follow you, they're more likely to see your stories, they're more likely to see your organic Reels, and that's where you can really start to show up in their feed every single day and continue to speak to them and nurture them even further. One thing that nobody ever really talks about is A/B testing your Instagram profile the same way you would with the landing page. Because if you're posting consistently or running ads, that means that people are seeing your Instagram profile every single day. And if you're not touching your bio, or you're changing your profile picture, which profile picture is probably the lowest leverage thing you can do, or switching up your pin post or your highlights, then you won't actually ever be able to increase that conversion rate from people who visit your profile to following you. And by switching things up in your bio or changing the link in your bio, you can actually have a huge difference in the amount of people who actually either click through or decide to follow you. So the best way that you can do this is just copy your old bio so that you have it and you don't lose it, change it up, wait 3, 5, probably a week is probably the best way to go about it. Wait a week and see if you have an increase in people clicking the link in the bio. See if you have an increase on average for people who are visiting your profile and actually dropping the follow. I did this myself the other week, where I was analyzing my ads and I realized that my creatives were good because a lot of people were clicking through, but not many of them were converting. So I changed my bio, and literally just by changing my bio and switching up a couple pin posts, my cost per follower on my ads decreased by 75%. If I never thought about my Instagram page the same way I think about a landing page, I would have never thought to change my bio, and I would have never been able to achieve the results that I did with this. And like I was saying before, once you've earned the follow, you can really nurture people in the form of stories and highlights, because this is exclusive-ish to people who are following you, right? Because you don't really get many story views from people who aren't following you, because what are the chances that they're going to show up on your page in the 24-hour window where you've posted? And then also, secondly, when they follow you, they're more likely to interact with your content, especially in the beginning, because when you initially follow somebody, their stuff usually shows up at the top of their feed. So it's your chance there to continue to communicate the value that you provide and subtly convince your audience that what you have to offer is valuable. And like I said, guys, all of this fundamentally comes from proof, because if you have proof, you can just upload it onto your stories. You show more and more proof every single day that what you're doing is working. And it's inevitable that all the new followers that see you that are qualified for the kind of thing that you're helping people with will eventually want to work with you because they're just bombarded every single day seeing other people win. And at some point, they're going to be sick of seeing all these other people win while they're stuck in the same place, and you're going to be able to convert them that way. So without proof, this becomes a lot harder. I hope this is kind of tying everything together and how fulfillment is fundamentally the most important thing that you need to scale your offer. Because if you fix that, like I said before, and I'm going to say it again, if you fix that, you get more client results, you get better case studies, you get a better streamlined system to get even more client results, and all of this fuels the rest of your engine to get better conversions and better attention because you're actually proving that what you do works. And moving on to paid ads, the same thing applies. You have to be testing a bunch of creatives. In this day and age, you have to just split test more than the other guy if you really want your paid ads to work. So split test a bunch of creatives, split test different audiences, like see which audiences are responding better to your ads and seeing which ones are bringing you the most qualified follows or the most qualified opt-ins, depending on what your campaigns are for. And by doing this, you're going to find winners, which you can double down with. And this will ultimately bring more people to your Instagram profile where you can just continue the rest of the process that I had already explained before. So guys, we've reached the end of the video. And just to quickly recap, if you're somebody who's looking to scale and you already have a proven offer that works, and you're also somebody who's in this for the long run, then start by mastering your fulfillment, then your conversions, and then the attention becomes super easy. And all of this will just create a massive machine that continues to automatically fuel each other and will bring you the success that you're looking for. By doing this, you put yourself in a position where each new sale becomes easier than the next, to the point where making sales is just something that you do on the daily. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to drop a like and subscribe, do all that kind of stuff. And if you're interested in working with me directly one-on-one, the first link is going to be in the description. I'll see you guys on the next one.